What if everything you've been told about getting rich is only half the truth? The real secret doesn't lie in quick fixes or luck. It starts deep within your mind. Get ready to discover a truth so shocking it will change the way you think, grow, and succeed forever. True wealth begins far beneath the surface of what we commonly understand as riches. It is not merely the accumulation of money, possessions, or external success that defines real riches. Before any external manifestation of wealth can appear, there must be an internal awakening, a transformation that happens quietly and profoundly within us. This inner wealth is the foundation on which all external achievements are built. Without it, material gains remain hollow, fleeting, and ultimately unsatisfying. People often chase after money, status, or power, believing these will bring fulfillment, but they find only temporary pleasure or even emptiness. The reason lies in the fact that these external things do not address the deeper needs of the human spirit. What truly enriches life is the richness of understanding, of purpose, and of a well-ordered mind that is capable of vision and clarity. To cultivate this inner wealth, one must begin by turning inward and becoming intimately familiar with one's own psyche. This is a journey of self-awareness, where the individual starts to recognize the hidden motivations, desires, fears, and potentials residing within. It is a courageous act of self-exploration, often demanding honesty and vulnerability. Without this process, thoughts remain shallow and actions become misguided attempts to fill an internal void with external things. The mind, when cultivated with care and intention, becomes a powerful tool for growth and transformation. Thoughts are not random or meaningless. They are the seeds from which our realities grow. When we nurture positive, clear, and purposeful thinking, we lay the groundwork for success and abundance in life. Conversely, negative or chaotic thinking creates obstacles and scarcity. Therefore, the quality of one's thought determines the quality of one's life experience. This internal richness is also deeply connected to one's sense of meaning and purpose. A person who has found clarity about their values and goals carries an inner wealth that no external circumstance can diminish. This clarity acts as a compass guiding decisions and actions in alignment with one's true self. Such alignment creates a harmony that attracts opportunities and resources naturally, forward or sponsors without authority of one's intentions. Furthermore, inner wealth includes emotional richness, the capacity to understand and regulate one's feelings and reactions. Another essential aspect of inner wealth is the cultivation of wisdom. Wisdom comes from experience, reflection, and the willingness to learn from both successes and failures. It involves seeing beyond immediate gratification to the long-term consequences of one's choices. A wise mind knows that true growth often requires patience, sacrifice, and discipline. It understands that richness is not merely an outcome, but a way of living. In essence, growing rich begins with nourishing the inner world. This process may require solitude, contemplation, and a commitment to personal development. It challenges the common belief that wealth is something to be acquired externally and reveals a deeper truth. The most enduring and fulfilling riches are those cultivated within the mind and soul. When this inner foundation is strong, external success follows naturally. Not as a desperate pursuit, but as a natural expression of an abundant inner life. Thus, before one can truly think and grow rich in the world, one must first invest in the walls within. This internal treasure, once discovered and nurtured, growth and transformation do not occur in isolation within the conscious mind alone. They emerge from a dynamic interplay between the conscious thoughts we deliberately entertain and the vast, often hidden artwork of unconscious forces that reside beneath awareness. This unconscious realm is not merely a repository of forgotten memories or suppressed emotions. It is a powerful wellspring of energy, creativity, and wisdom that continuously shapes. When conscious thinking aligns with these deeper currents, profound change becomes possible. The conscious mind, with its logic and reasoning, is limited in scope, and however, the unconscious, with its symbolic language and archetypal motifs, speaks to a broader and more profound truth about our nature and potential. It holds the keys to unexplored capacities and insights that can propel us towards growth. To truly harness this power, one must develop the capacity to listen inwardly to the subtle messages, images, and feelings that arise spontaneously from the unconscious. These may come in the form of dreams, sudden intuitions, or creative inspirations that seem to emerge from nowhere. By paying attention to these expressions, we begin to bridge the gap between the seen and unseen parts of ourselves. This bridging is crucial because it integrates the fragmented aspects of our psyche, creating a wholeness that fuels authentic growth. Moreover, the unconscious challenges the conscious mind to move beyond surface-level thinking. It pushes us to confront hidden fears, unresolved conflicts, and shadow aspects of the self that we might otherwise deny or ignore. This confrontation can be unsettling, even shocking, but it is necessary for transformation. Without acknowledging the unconscious influences that drive much of our behavior, we remain prisoners of blind patterns of reactive growth. Requires bringing these hidden forces into the light of awareness, where they can be understood, integrated, and transcended. This integration between conscious and unconscious processes, this enriched consciousness is capable of creative problem solving, visionary thinking, and a deeper connection to our inner purpose. When this alignment is achieved, the results can be astonishing. Thoughts no longer remain abstract or superficial ideas. They become lingering forces. This connection infuses every decision with meaning and direction, setting the stage for genuine success and abundance. In contrast, when the unconscious is neglected or suppressed, the conscious mind loses access to vital guidance. It may pursue goals that are ultimately unfulfilling or self-destructive, because it lacks insight into the deeper needs and motivations at play. Therefore, embracing the unconscious is a critical step toward growth and richness. It invites us to move beyond a narrow focus on logic and control, opening ourselves to mystery, symbolism, and the vast unknown within. In conclusion, conscious thought and unconscious insight are partners in the dance of personal development. Their alignment creates a powerful synergy that fuels growth and transformation. By honoring both realms of the mind, we unlock a deeper truth about ourselves and the nature of riches. one that transcends the material and touches the spiritual core of human existence. The truth may shock us at first, that it is through this shock that we awaken to the fullness of our potential and the true meaning of growth. To truly achieve growth and richness, one must confront the shadows that dwell within, the fears, doubts, and hidden parts of the self that often remain unacknowledged. These inner shadows represent the aspects of our psyche that we find uncomfortable or unacceptable, so we tend to push them away, deny their existence, or suppressing beneath the veil of conscious awareness. Yet it is precisely in facing these shadows that profound transformation and true. The shadows are not simply obstacles or weaknesses to be eliminated. They are vital parts of the whole self that hold valuable information and energy. When ignored, these hidden elements exert influence over our thoughts and behaviors in ways we do not fully understand, often sabotaging our efforts toward success and fulfillment. Acknowledging these shadow aspects requires courage and honesty. It means looking inward with a willingness to see what has been buried or denied, even when it feels uncomfortable or unsettling. This process can be likened to entering a dark cave within ourselves where the unknown resides. The potential for discover for the unknown with integration leads to wholeness, which in turn creates a solid foundation for growth. Moreover, the shadows often contain the very qualities and strengths that we fear or misunderstand. For example, what may appear as anger or aggression might actually be a source of vitality and assertiveness when expressed healthily. Similarly, feelings of vulnerability or sadness may open the way. The process of shadow work is not a one-time event, but an ongoing journey. It requires patience and compassion toward oneself, recognizing that growth involves setbacks and moments of discomfort. Yet each encounter with the shadow brings greater clarity and freedom. Over time, the once frightening or hidden parts become allies in the pursuit of richness, provoking wisdom and resilience. Additionally, facing the shadows dissolves the illusions we hold about ourselves and the world. It strips away false identities constructed to protect us from pain or rejection, revealing the deeper truth of who we are. This truth may shock us because it challenges familiar narratives and compels us to re-evaluate our goals and desires. However, embracing this truth is essential for genuine growth. It frees us from living inauthentically and empowers us to create a life aligned with our deepest values. In practical terms, shadow work can involve self-reflection, journaling, meditation, or seeking guidance through therapy or mentorship. It calls for moments of silence and solitude where we can listen to our inner voice without distraction. It also involves being attentive to emotions. Ultimately, confronting the inner darkness transforms it from a source of fear into a source of power. It strengthens the individual's ability to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and confidence. This inner mastery is a key aspect of true richness because it fosters resilience, creativity, and authenticity. In conclusion, the path to thinking and growing rich demands that we bravely face the shadows within. Only by doing so can we break free from limiting cycles and tap into the full potential that lies beneath the surface. The truth that emerges from this process may indeed shock us, but it is through this shock that embracing the shadow leads to integration, wholeness, and a richness that transcends material wealth. A richness that nourishes the soul and empowers the mind to create lasting abundance. True growth and transformation require a fundamental shift in how we relate to control and the ego. The ego, often understood as the conscious sense of I or personal identity, is the part of ourselves that seeks to manage, direct, and dominate our experience. While the ego plays an important role in helping us navigate daily life, it can also become a barrier when it insists on controlling every aspect of our journey toward richness and success. Surrendering the illusion of control does not mean giving up responsibility or passivity. Rather, it involves recognizing the limits of our power and opening ourselves to a greater intelligence beyond the ego's narrow scope. This greater intelligence can be seen as the deeper wisdom of the unconscious mind, the flow of life itself, or a universal creative force that guides growth in ways we may not fully comprehend. If we cling too tightly to control, we block this vital energy and stunt our potential. The ego's resistance to surrender often stems from fear, the fear of uncertainty, vulnerability, and loss of identity. Letting go of control means stepping into the unknown, where outcomes are not guaranteed and where the familiar sense of self may be challenged. This can be deeply uncomfortable and even frightening. Yet, by releasing the need to control, we allow life's natural rhythms and inner wisdom to flow through us. This flow brings synchronicities, insights, and opportunities that the ego alone could never orchestrate. It creates a dynamic interplay between intention and openness. Surrender also fosters humility and trust. Humility arises from acknowledging that we do not have all the answers and that we are part of a larger whole. Trust grows as we learn to rely not solely on our own limited understanding, but on the unfolding process of life. This trust does not imply passivity, but a confident engagement with reality as it is, rather than as we wish it to be. In the realm of thinking and growing rich, surrendering control means moving beyond rigid plans and mental constructs. It encourages embracing uncertainty as an essential ingredient of growth. Sometimes, the richest opportunities come disguised as obstacles or disruptions to our expectations. When we hold too tightly to control, we may miss these hidden gifts, but when we open ourselves with a spirit of surprise and unpredictability, this surrender is also closely tied to the concept of integration. As we let go of ego-driven control, we create space for the unconscious and other aspects of the psyche to come forward. This integration deepens self-awareness and leads to a more authentic and whole expression of self. It transforms the ego from a rigid ruler into a wise leader who guides but does not dominate. Ultimately, surrendering control is a form of empowerment. It frees us from the exhausting struggle of trying to force outcomes and allows us to act from a place of inner calm and clarity. This empowerment strengthens resilience, enabling us to adapt changing circumstances and maintaining focus on our deeper goals. In conclusion, the path to true richness and growth involves releasing the illusion of absolute control held by the ego. By surrendering, we invite a deeper wisdom and creative energy into our lives. This process, though challenging, opens the door to transformation, abundance, and a richer experience of being. The truth may indeed shock us, as it calls us to trust the unknown, but it is within this trust that the greatest riches unfolds. True richness is not a fixed point or a final achievement, but an ongoing journey, a continuous unfolding and evolution of mind, spirit and purpose. It is a dynamic process that requires constant growth. When richness is viewed as a destination, it becomes something external and finite, something to be obtained, possessed, or measured. This mindset often leads to frustration, impatience, or complacency once certain goals are reached. We may find that after achieving a milestone, this satisfaction fades quickly, and in contrast, seeing richness as a journey invites us to embrace growth as a lifelong process. It encourages an attitude of curiosity and openness toward change. Every experience, whether perceived as success or failure, becomes an opportunity for learning and development. This perspective nurtures resilience and flexibility, allowing us to navigate life's inevitable challenges with grace and wisdom. Moreover, richness as a journey involves expanding our understanding of what it means to grow. It encompasses not only material or financial progress, but also intellectual, emotional, and spiritual dimensions. We evolve by deepening self-awareness, cultivating compassion, developing new skills, and connecting with a sense of purpose beyond ourselves. Each step forward enriches us more profoundly than any external gain alone. This ongoing process also requires a willingness to let go of old beliefs, habits, or identities that no longer serves our growth. As we evolve, our values and goals may shift, reflecting deeper insights and changing circumstances. The journey metaphor also highlights the importance of presence and mindfulness. Richness is found not only in reaching future goals, but in fully experiencing the present moment. When we cultivate awareness and gratitude for the here and now, we open ourselves to a deeper sense of abundance that transcends external conditions. Furthermore, viewing richness as a journey fosters a sense of connection and contribution. As we grow, we often find that our wealth is not solely for personal benefit, but also a means to serve and uplift others. This shift from self-centered ambition to communal engagement adds profound meaning to the journey and creates a legacy that extends beyond our individual life. In practical terms, embracing richness as a journey means setting intentions that are flexible and evolving rather than rigid and fixed. It encourages continuous self-reflection and adjustment, recognizing that growth requires both effort and patience. Ultimately, this perspective transforms the very experience of thinking and growing rich. It moves us from chasing after external validation to cultivating inner fulfillment and wisdom. It reveals that the richest life is not one of accumulation, but one of transformation, a dance between striving and acceptance, action and reflection. In conclusion, true richness is a lifelong journey of growth and evolution. It is a process that involves expanding our mind, heart and spirit while remaining open to change and new possibilities. By embracing richness as a journey rather than a destination, we cultivate resilience, purpose and presence. Intentional thinking is the cornerstone of creating a rich and fulfilling life. It is the conscious choice to direct our mental energy towards specific goals, visions, and values, rather than allowing thoughts to drift aimlessly or be dictated by external influences. This purposeful focus transforms thoughts from mere fleeting impressions. When we think intentionally, we begin by clarifying what truly matters to us, our deepest desires, values, and aspirations. This clarity acts like a beacon, guiding our mental efforts and aligning our actions with our authentic selves. Without such intentionality, our minds can become cluttered with distractions, doubts, and conflicting messages that dissipate energy and undermine progress. Intentional thinking cuts through this noise, fostering a mental environment conducive to growth and success. Moreover, intentional thinking involves a disciplined practice of nurturing positive, constructive thoughts, while recognizing and challenging limiting beliefs. It requires us to be vigilant about the quality of our inner dialogue, replacing negativity and self-doubt with affirmations of possibility and confidence. Bringing this mental discipline rewires our neural pathways, reinforcing habits of optimism, resilience, and creative problem-solving. This focus does not mean rigid or inflexible thinking, but rather a dynamic and adaptive mindset. Intentional thinkers remain open to new information, feedback, and opportunities, adjusting their course as needed while maintaining a clear sense of purpose. This balance between clarity and flexibility is essential for navigating the complexities and uncertainties of life. Intentional thinking also harnesses the power of visualization and imagination. By vividly picturing desired outcomes and experiences, we activate the subconscious mind in ways that support goal achievement. Visualization acts as a rehearsal for success, building confidence and preparing the mind to recognize and seize opportunities that align with our vision. Furthermore, intentional thinking fosters alignment between thought and action. When our mental focus is clear and purposeful, our behaviors naturally follow suit. This alignment creates momentum, as each step taken reinforces the next, generating a positive feedback loop. This principle extends beyond individual ambition to encompass the impact we have on others and the world around us. Intentional thinkers recognize that their thoughts and actions contribute to larger systems and communities. They cultivate awareness of this interconnectedness. Ultimately, intentional thinking is a profound act of self-empowerment. It shifts us from passive recipients of circumstance to active creatives of our lives. By consciously choosing where to direct our mental energy, we unlock the capacity to transform challenges into opportunities and dreams into reality. In summary, the power to think intentionally is a vital key to growing rich. Not the truth that emerges from this process may indeed be surprising, revealing that the richest life is crafted first in the mind, then brought forth into the world through deliberate